Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. My name is Kevin Powell. Man, incarceration right around the corner. And I'll tell you what, tons of bands I want to see, tons of bands I've been able to interview, and I am stoked for this next one. I listened to their album last year. They got a new single out right now, and they're playing Inkcarceration for 2024. I got Cristian from Lions at the Gate. How you doing today?
Doing good, man. In Oklahoma City, just waiting to play a show on the way to Inkcarceration. Doing all
so
right.
You guys are on tour right now. Tell me a little bit about the tour.
We're on tour with Texas band, friends of ours, Kingdom Collapse, and also Another Day Dawns. And most of the bands that are on this run are basically playing shows together, getting to festivals. It's festival season. Bands are from all over the country. Festivals are all over the country, so there's a lot of driving that the bands have to do. And the smartest way to do it is to play shows on the way there, play shows on the way back.
Absolutely. I was at Sonic Temple in Columbus, Ohio earlier this year, and that was the case for a lot of the bands. So it just kind of makes sense as it all blends together. But we're not talking about Sonic Temple. We're talking about Inkcarceration. How does it feel to be a part of this year's Inkcarceration?
It's amazing. I mean, it'll be our first festival that we're playing as a band. We've been in other bands and played festivals before, but this is a new project for us, Lions at the Gate, and it's the first time Lions at the Gate gets to play a festival. So a lot is on the line. We're really excited about it. We're really, really focused. And for us, it's really a blessing. It's like a miracle. We haven't played any festivals. We've done multiple tours, but this is that first step. Hopefully it'll lead into festival season next year. Maybe we could do the whole run.
Absolutely. Now, I'm not going to fanboy here, but I've been following your work for quite some time. So whenever Not Even Human came out in 2021, I'll tell you what, I fell in love immediately. The mix on that, fantastic. And the album you guys put out last year, you actually went with the artist Dakota from Point Blank Graphics, who's one of my best friends. So heck yeah on that.
Oh, right on.
So it was really funny whenever he posted that. I was like, wow, that's awesome. So I want to know, what was the reaction that you had hearing that you're going to be part of Inkcarceration?
Oh man, I was so incredibly excited and thankful. I'll say this much: for any new band nowadays, if there's no machine behind you, if you're just out there trying to put music out, trying to do tours, relying on relationships you've built, relying on networking you've done throughout your musical career, it's still extremely tough, man. There's a lot of great bands out there. Fans have a lot to choose from. So for us, we've been putting in the hard work, but we haven't yet gotten a chance like this. And like I said, there's a lot on the table for us at this festival. And I couldn't think of a better festival to premiere ourselves, to premiere Lions at the Gate at a festival than Inkcarceration. I admire it because it started really small. And I remember the first Inkcarceration, friends of mine had played it, very small national bands. It wasn't a huge thing. And it grew, and it really turned into this massive festival that it is today. And I admire them. They really started small. It wasn't, a ton of companies behind it at first, and now there is, and it just gives you hope that things can start small and grow. And that's what we're focusing. We're out here being patient and hoping that things work out for us. Just focusing on the music is all we could do, and hoping that the right opportunities align with everything we're doing. And Inkcarceration, without a doubt, it's like a miracle. And when I saw that we had gotten the festival, I immediately went into full thankful mode. Like, oh man, thank you so much. This is amazing. But now we have to put in the work and really get up on stage and kill it.
Felt like a teenager again, probably like, heck yeah, we're playing a show.
It did. Because I do remember my first band, when we started getting our first festivals, the feeling was, it resembled that, even though I'm much older now, but the feeling resembled that. So it was exciting to feel like an excited young musician, definitely getting that festival just filled me with like joy for being a musician instead of like, man, it's tough out here.
Absolutely. So you're on tour right now, and then you have Inkcarceration, and then you guys finish out the rest of the tour, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're going all the way up to the 21st.
So you have probably not a ton of free time, but if you have a little bit of time at Incarceration, are there any bands you're excited to see on the day that you're there?
I want to see the younger bands that I want to see. I want to see Flat Black. I
Okay.
thought that they're sounding really cool. We're only there for one day, so I'd have to check out who else is on the bill that same day. I would have hoped to see Bad Wolves, but they're on the day before. And I'm definitely going to check out the headliners. Whoever's headlining that night, I'm definitely going to check it out.
Oh yeah.
Even though I'm I've been in the music industry for a bit, I still consider myself a learner, and I still love learning, whether it's from new bands or huge acts. I I, I just I love knocking myself down and being like, I don't know it all.
That's the way to be, honestly. I've been around music for quite a long time myself, and rather it be at a iHeartRadio Country Festival or Incarceration Festival, you can pick something up from another artist. Rather, you're just walking by and you see what kind of equipment they have or how they're preparing for the festival or anything like that. Now, you're on tour now, and there's going to be a difference between a tour show and a festival show. How do you prepare for a festival show?
The biggest differences between this festival show and the shows we're doing on the run up there to Incarceration is the time we're playing is a huge obstacle to have to cross. We're kind of like now used to playing like at 9 p.m. So, but at Incarceration, we'll have to play earlier. So my hurdle will be trying to go to bed a little bit earlier and, not going to bed as late as I have been. But it'll be a challenge. Then we'll have to wake up a little earlier. We got a early load in, but after we load in, I think we'll have plenty of time to just hang out, catch a nap if we need to. And really the biggest hurdle is the time. You got to wake up earlier. We'll get more of a chance to have our gear near the stage before we set up, which is an advantage. And after the set, before the set and after the set, we have a lot of interviews. So I don't think we got a lot of free time, but we will be hanging up merch, doing interviews, seeing other bands, all the fun things that we could do. The biggest hurdle will be just the time, where we play. For me as a singer, I'll have to warm up earlier and wake up, 4 hours before the show, and just just hope that everything is okay in there. That's all.
Now you might wake up a little tired, but once you see all these people here to see you guys, oh man, you're gonna wake right up and be ready to go. Now, what can fans expect from your set at Ink?
Our fans at Ink can expect a killer show. We're gonna sound good. We're gonna make people feel good. We're not there to spread any kind of negative message. We're there to really lift people up. We live in a time in the world where it's constant battle, where you're being constantly put into your brain that you should be hating somebody else. That if you're like this and they're like that, you should hate them and you should not like them. And really, we're out here, man, just hoping that the message of unity, as the metal community is known for, spreads beyond the metal community. In the metal community, when you go to a show, you could see people of any color, any race. They could look like anything. It doesn't matter. If somebody needs help, every metalhead is
they're there
going to help the person. Yeah, every metalhead is going to help the person. And what we see in public nowadays is a lot. There's good people out there. It's not that there isn't. It's just that what we see in public today is a lot of people turning away from others suffering. And I think that we're at a time in the world where if someone is suffering, we got to go to them, and allow them to feel unity and love. Because we live in a world where if this continues like this, we're all going to wind up hating each other. So we're there just to lift people up, man, and to play metal and to just crush it. That's it. Lift
just
people
have a good
up,
time.
Crush it, play metal. That's it.
Perfect. Okay. So is this is going to be your first Incarceration? Couple things I would point out if you have time around the media tent, if they still have it. there is a cold brew bar, and boy, is it good. The second thing I would recommend, if you're familiar with Shawshank Redemption, one of the top rated movies of all time, it is the prison. So you'll have free access to that prison tour. The earlier you go, the better. The later you go, man, you'll be standing in line. It's cool, I would say. I went last year. Last year was my first incarceration with media. It's cool once. After that, you're good. Everything's like, all right, I got it. So those are the two things I would recommend if you have the time. So I want to talk a little bit about the album, The Excuses We Cannot Make, and Can't Feel the Sun single. So that is not too far apart. Whenever my release radar came on and said that you guys have a new single, I said, huh? Already? They just had a new album. Tell me about that a little bit.
Well, it's the first single from a new album that we have 95% done.
Okay.
All the songs are done. Everything is tracked except for minor harmonies, backing vocals, small things like that. But Can't Feel the Sun is the first song off a new album. We're, we kind of have a title in mind. We're not going to release any title yet. But as soon as the last album released, The Excuses We Cannot Make, it came out in September of last year. We booked with our producer to get right back in the studio. We have been seeing just, a good support base from our fans, and we felt like, well, we can't just slow down and take time off. We're a new band. We have to keep going. So it's the first single from the new album. The new album is really, really good. If you like the last album, you're going to like this album. It pushes the envelopes a little bit more. It's centered on the message a little bit stronger. And it's the theme of the entire record is truly to get through your struggle. See that at the end, the other side of that struggle is a victory. But you just have to stick with the fight and not give up on yourself. Sometimes you give up on yourself because Peter gave up on you. But I think within our hearts, we all have this survival instinct that's so strong. And that really is what the album is about, is no matter what, through it all, find the good in your heart, shield your heart from everything. Shield your heart from everything negative. And The Excuses We Cannot Make was an album that we had worked on. I mean, that album was recorded and written almost 4 years ago, like in 2020. So I think that by the time the album came out, we were kind of psyched and ready to write some new music. And once the guys got in the studio and started writing instrumentals, they were flying. I mean, it was like boom, 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 one song after the other. And by the time I went to Nashville to work with Kyle, our producer, the songs were sounding killer. Very minimal things we had to do. We just had to get down to the writing and really, really focus. It was a lot of time of thinking and trying to ask ourselves, what envelopes do we push? We can't stay where we are. Something has to go further. Something has to dig deeper. And I think we did that on this album. It'll be catchier. It has different tunings on it. Really catchy choruses, songs that are a little bit heavier, things that are a little bit heavier. Some odd time signatures here and there, which we didn't do on the last album.
Okay.
So it's some cool, exciting stuff, that we put our minds to. We all feel like in the projects we were in the past, we were so built in to this cell by the walls, and you have to construct like this. It has to be this because this is what you are. And if you do that for too long, you wind up realizing that you don't want someone telling you how to musically be. You just want to be able to feel creative. And I think that's the beauty of music. The beauty of music is that energy in the universe can either be created or destroyed, but you can create music, you can create thoughts, you can create feelings. And that's pretty much where we're at with it. We're just hoping that the fans spread the word, that it reaches them as deep as we think it could.
Now, I have talked to a few bands already on Ink, and generally, whenever a big festival like this is happening and a band is playing, something new is coming, whether it be an EP, an album, something to kind of promote, and that's why they're out and about. You telling me that you guys already have basically an album finished, ready to go. I am very surprised by that because again, you just put that out. So I, as a fan, am excited. I'm sure other fans will be excited as well. So thanks for sharing that. You guys are just head down, grind, ready to go. Gotta love it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we realize the reality is this: we realize that music is oversaturated. You know, there's a lot of great bands. If you're a band, you have to be prepared, and you have to be prepared with good music. You can't get lazy and kind of get stagnant and we just put out an album, you know, in 2 years we'll put out another one. We're in a day where musicians got to work hard, you know, and rightfully so. The fans want good stuff. They don't want to listen to crappy music. So as music evolves, as we evolve as a band, we just have to learn and accept that we have to work hard. The more success we have, the harder we'll have to work. When you start having a little success, you can't slow down and become content. You have to push harder, you know, and ask what it is that you should be putting forward, and believe in it when you do it.
I absolutely love that mindset. So thank you for sharing that. A couple final things for you. One, maybe album this year in 2024?
I think so. Definitely some singles this year. You know, we'll be putting out more music that's leading into the new album. It's weird the way album cycles work now, because when I first started touring, you know, the band went on tour and a month later the album came out. And there was like 1 or 2 singles before the album came out. But now we're in a world where you put out all your singles before the album comes out, and then at the end of your recording cycle, at the end of your record cycle, you put out the album. But we have it ready to go, so it gives us at least the availability to strategize properly, you know, pick the singles properly, set a good release date, and just allow some visibility for it, because that really is important nowadays. You know, if nobody knows about it, how's anyone going to hear it?
So if you had to pick a couple bands to make a dream tour with Lions at the Gate, whether you're headlining, opening, right in the middle, wherever, who would you pick and why?
Well, I've done festivals with the Deftones, but never did a full tour. That would be cool.
Okay, I could see
Lions
it.
at the Gate opened up for the Deftones. I'd be all right with that. So maybe the Deftones. You know, I'm a new metal kid. Would love to do a tour with our homies in Bad Wolves. You know, Deftones, Lions at the Gate, Bad Wolves. Would that be all right? I don't know.
Sounds like a fun tour to me. I'm buying tickets right now.
Sure.
Okay. Do you have any advice for up and coming bands? Maybe they're trying to push past the boundaries of wherever they're at. Maybe they're just starting out. You've been around the music industry for a while. You've seen things come and go. You've seen things change for the good and the bad. Any suggestions, thoughts, comments, anything?
For bands starting out, the most important thing you could learn is finding the right musicians to play with. You know, playing with people that are slightly above your ability, so that you can always keep reaching in your ability, and you can always keep growing and wanting to go further in your musicianship. The other 2 important things, because we live in a world of social media. Back in the day, I would have been like, you got to go out and do these things and and meet people. But it's almost different now. The other 2 important things is make sure that you're putting out something that is going to stand out, however it is. If you're a guitar player, find a vocalist that has a unique voice. Put that unique voice over a sound that hasn't been done necessarily like that yet. To me, originality has always been context of a vocal over what kind of music is it playing. You know, when you hear a band like Creed, it's close to think of Eddie Vedder as a vocalist, but that vocal was never put over a more metallic kind of thing, which Creed did. So, you know, the context of how the vocal sits on the music is very important. Think about that. Search for a vocalist that may offer some unique approach. If you find a great vocalist that doesn't have a unique approach, guide them, you know, help them, support them. And beyond that, that's it. It's really just about music, and the people that you play with, having a shared vision, not compromising, not allowing anyone in the group to be a squeaky wheel, accepting a leader. If there's a leader in the band, be grateful. Be grateful that you have someone that can guide, but also be weary that this person doesn't allow the power to get to their head. So, there's this fluid element to having to work with people in a band, having to create, and you have to accept that. You have to accept that it's a compromise. That if you have a great songwriter in your band, be grateful for them, support them. Don't try to take the songwriting away from them. If anything, give him more support. Work with him. Learn his songwriting base. Write a song that can compete with this. And beyond that is things that I wouldn't know much about, which is how to promote yourself on social media. So I'm not going to give it. I could comment on the musical aspect, on the psychological aspect of how do you get success? What are the things that are important for success? But I wouldn't be able to tell you how do you promote on social media. I don't know. Make a cool video, have a lot of different clips, make sure a part in the song is something so unique and refreshing when you hear it, that's what you can bank on when you start spreading it on social media. And perhaps the message, if you're going to play metal, I say consider a positive message. We're in the metal community where it's so cliche to just be angry, negative, to be pissed off, that we almost are neglecting the other half of the human body, which is to be lifted up high, to be in community with people, to cherish each other. So I would say if you're going to start a metal band, consider a positive message. If you're going to start hip hop, consider a positive message. If you're going to do anything, consider a positive message. The world needs it.
I love that answer. I love also asking that question to basically every band member I've ever talked to, because I get this huge, wide variety of answers. So love your answer. Thank you for sharing. Any final words you want to say to fans?
Please buy our album. Buy merch, buy our album, Lines at the Gate, The Excuses We Cannot Make. latgofficial.com is the website. Support us. If you like the music, share it. It really is all up to the fans. We have no big machine behind us. We have one booking agent and one manager, and they're helping us guide the ship, really. They're doing most of the work. Beyond that, it's just like a couple of few guys that have been amazing to us and continue to tour with us. So it really is all up to you guys. Share it with your friends. If you like the music, just spread the word. That's really all we need.
And that's Cristian from the band Lions at the Gate. Man, these guys rule. I fell in love with them since their first single. And listen, their album kicks ass, and they have another album on the way. Wow. You can catch them Saturday, July 20th on the Infirmary stage at 2:15 p.m. So make sure you guys get to Inkcarceration at that stage at that time. Check out Lions at the Gate. Check out all the bands playing. Man, this is a great festival. Great time. Thank you for checking out this episode of the podcast. Appreciate it as always. We'll see you guys next time.